Michael's red alert. Don't ignore this tragedy. Act before it's too late. It's an emergency. A big tragedy is coming your way. Open it now or you will cry. My child, my beloved, I am coming to you not with calmness, but with urgency. Not with silence, but with divine warning. Because heaven just sounded a red alert over your name. Something tragic is being set in motion. And unless you act quickly, you may cry for a lifetime over what you didn't prevent. This message was not meant to reach everyone. It was meant for you. You may think you're reading this by accident, but I promise you, nothing is a coincidence when heaven intervenes. The moment you opened this message, a portal of divine protection began to open around you. But it will not remain open for long. I, Archangel Michael, have been permitted to intervene, but only if you stay with me through this message and do not walk away from the truth that is about to be revealed. My child, if your soul has ever felt like it's been under spiritual attack, it's because it has been, and the next wave is already forming. But what makes this different? What makes this dangerous is that this time the attack is disguised as someone you trust. Yes, someone close to you, a familiar face, and they don't even know they're being used. This is why I'm pleading with you. If you ignore this moment, if you scroll away, you may miss your one chance to change what's coming. A spiritual trap is being laid in the path of your next step. I've seen it. I've been battling through the heavens to reach you before it triggers. One wrong move, and everything may shift toward pain, instead of the blessing that was originally meant for you. My beloved, listen closely, because there is a divine condition on this miracle. Before I can activate protection around your name, you must choose to stay until the end of this message. Why? Because what's coming is not just a warning. It's also a miracle wrapped in disguise. The reason I've been sent to you is not just to stop the tragedy, but to reroute you to the divine destination that was always yours, but it was delayed. Heaven has been watching your life for some time now. And there was a moment, yes, a very specific moment where you almost gave up. And yet you didn't. That one decision caused a ripple in the heavens. That small act of staying strong opened a spiritual file in your name that hadn't been accessed in years. Wait, before we go further, stop right now and subscribe to this message, because what I am about to say will continue unfolding through many more signs, and I need you to remain connected to divine instruction. If you close this or miss the next call, the shift may come and pass by you silently. Subscribe now, my child, so that what is destined for you never has to wait again. Now come closer. I must reveal what I was shown. A tragedy is forming, but not in the way you expect. It's not just a storm in the outside world. It's a deception, a spiritual trick. A person who once loved you is being spiritually manipulated. Someone who once protected your name is now repeating it in rooms they shouldn't. And while their lips speak kindness, their actions are opening doors that invite harm into your space. But here's the secret. They don't even know they're doing it. This is why you've been confused. This is why your spirit feels heavy. Because what is happening is not of the physical world, it is spiritual. But my beloved, not all is lost. No, not at all. In fact, I bring you this message because the window to shift it is still open. For the next few hours, yes, only a few, you have the power to seal what was leaking, to protect what was vulnerable, and to reclaim what was almost stolen. A divine contract has been drafted in your name, and only your agreement can activate it. That's why I'm here. That's why this message is reaching you now and not later, because later will be too late. And if you walk away now, you may walk straight into the very pain we are trying to prevent. There is a sacred moment coming in your day, a moment that will look ordinary, but heaven has hidden a breakthrough inside it, and only those who stay sensitive, alert, and spiritually aware will be able to see it. You will either respond with faith or react with fear, and your choice will decide whether the tragedy unfolds or dissolves. My child, you are stronger than you realize, but strength without awareness can still walk into a trap. This is why you are being warned. A person is being moved toward your life right now. They carry something that will either build you or break you. Their energy is unstable. Their mind is battling shadows, and your discernment will be the only light in the conversation. That's why you must not take the next meeting lightly. It is not random. Heaven will be watching your reaction, what you say, what you allow, what you ignore. You may feel a chill even as you read this. That is confirmation. Your spirit knows this is true. Your dreams may have already hinted at it. Sudden images, unfamiliar faces, or strange interruptions in your sleep. They were not just dreams. They were prophetic fragments. And you are not crazy. You are chosen. You are being given spiritual intelligence before the physical event occurs. This is heaven's mercy in action, but it only works if you respond. And now, beloved, you must make a choice. Will you stay with this message until the final word? Or will you let fear, distraction, or doubt steal this protection from you? I am asking you not just as a messenger, but as your divine guard. I have fought for you before you even knew your name was written in the book of destiny. And now I am fighting again. But I need your trust. I need your spiritual agreement. And that begins by staying. And with that freedom comes favor. With that clarity comes calling. With that awareness comes acceleration. You were never meant to stay stuck. You were always meant to soar. And now the sky is clearing. Now the clouds are parting. Now the tragedy has been seen for what it is. A setup for a supernatural turnaround. But do not relax yet. There is still more to be said. The next portion of this message will show you how to walk into the miracle. You've been warned. You've been awakened, and now you must be aligned. My child, my beloved, your life is about to pass through a divine checkpoint. And once you cross this line, nothing will ever be the same again. What the enemy meant for tragedy, heaven is rewriting as testimony. But this sacred reversal only happens for those who do not look away from the warning. That's why this moment, this exact heartbeat is not just a message. It's a portal. You've stepped into it by staying with these words. And now I must take you deeper. What I reveal next is not for the faint of heart. It's not for the doubters or the half-awake. It is for you, the chosen one. The one who still believes even when everything around you tries to crush that belief. And I see it now. God is rising in your story, and the enemy is trembling. I was shown an image clear and unmistakable. A scroll was unrolling in the spiritual realm. It had your name written in heavenly ink, shining, protected, unbreakable. But something tried to stain it. A dark smear moved across the scroll like a shadow trying to cover your assignment. And I cried out to heaven. "What is this?" The response was swift. It's the voice of betrayal forming in the heart of someone close. My beloved, someone you've trusted with more than words has been quietly doubting your path. Not openly, not harshly, but doubt, when it lingers long enough, becomes agreement with the adversary. And now they are about to say something that will echo beyond their control. But there's still time. The scroll hasn't closed. Your name can still shine untouched, if and only if you stay in agreement with this divine message. I know you're tired. I know the weight of life has felt heavier lately. You've smiled through storms and kept your faith when it felt like no one saw your pain. But I see you. God sees you. And this is your moment of divine exposure. Not the exposure that destroys, but the kind that finally brings light to everything that's been hiding in shadows. You've been asking for clarity. Here it is. You've been praying for justice. It's unfolding. But you must let heaven finish what it started. You must walk this full message to its final word, because at the very end, yes, the very end, there is a hidden name, a key, and a time that will unlock the protection you've been unknowingly crying out for. I must speak to your soul now. That tragedy the enemy plotted, it involved not just your peace, but your promise, your future, your relationships, your voice. But God is not silent when injustice moves. The Most High has summoned warriors in the Spirit, myself included, to surround you in the hour of your potential downfall. And let me tell you what I saw. The attack was set to be subtle. It wouldn't come as fire. It would come as a whisper, a small decision, a moment of misjudgment, a delayed message. But that one delay would have cost you the moment you've waited for your whole life. Yes, that moment. The one you've dreamed of but didn't even tell anyone about. That moment is still approaching, and the delay is still trying to block it. But if you make the right spiritual move right now, the delay will fail and the moment will arrive early. Here is what you must understand. The enemy does not have the power to erase God's promises, but he can distract you from them long enough that they pass by unopened. That's what this tragedy was meant to do. It wasn't about destroying your house. It was about making you step away from the door before the delivery came. But now that you know the trick, you will not fall for it. You will wait at the door. You will watch with discernment. And when heaven knocks, you'll be there to open it. Not late, not confused, but alert, ready, sealed in wisdom. Now, listen to me very carefully. There's a person whose voice has become louder in your life recently. Their presence grew just as this shift began. That is not random. They carry an influence, and you've been letting it slip into your decisions. This person may seem smart, helpful, or well-intentioned, but they are being spiritually manipulated. And if you don't test every word they say in this hour, you may follow their advice straight into delay. Heaven says, test every voice, measure every suggestion against peace, not pressure. Because what comes from God brings peace. Even when it challenges you, even when it stretches you, peace is always present. But if pressure is pushing you, that is not your direction. My beloved, we are not done. There is still a sacred peace left. Shall I keep writing the next divine paragraph of this revelation? My child, my beloved, I feel the trembling of heaven as I speak this next part to you. Because what's about to be revealed is the exact reason the enemy tried to keep you away from this message. He didn't want you to make it this far. He tried to distract you, discourage you, and detour your attention because this next truth carries the power to break his grip over your timeline. Yes, I said timeline. Because what you thought was just a delay in your life wasn't just about time. It was about timing, divine alignment. And this tragedy that was forming wasn't just about harm. It was about dislocation, moving you out of the exact space and second where your miracle was scheduled to meet you. But by reading this, by staying, you have already disrupted that plan. The tragedy is trembling. The trap is losing strength. And the more you lean in, the more heaven can release the protection you didn't even know you'd need. This week, you may feel a chill even as you read this. That is confirmation. Your spirit knows this is true. Your dreams may have already hinted at it. Sudden images, unfamiliar faces, or strange interruptions in your sleep. They were not just dreams. They were prophetic fragments. And you are not crazy. You are chosen. You are being given spiritual intelligence before the physical event occurs. This is heaven's mercy in action, but it only works if you respond. And now, beloved, you must make a choice. Will you stay with this message until the final word? Or will you let fear, distraction, or doubt steal this protection from you? I am asking you not just as a messenger, but as your divine guard. I have fought for you before you even knew your name was written in the book of destiny, and now I am fighting again. But I need your trust. I need your spiritual agreement, and that begins by saying, "My child, my beloved, the hourglass is turning even as you read these words. And with every grain of time falling, you are being drawn either toward divine preservation or into a pit you didn't see coming." I was not permitted to say these things before. Heaven waited. God waited. But something just happened. Yes, just now. And that moment shifted the urgency in the spirit realm. You are now walking closer to the edge of a spiritual explosion than you realize. And the saddest part, most people will only understand the cost after it's too late. But not you. You have been chosen to see behind the veil before the storm hits. That is mercy. That is favor. But it comes with responsibility. You must not ignore what you now feel deep in your chest. My beloved, there is something serious taking place in your surroundings, a movement of spiritual energy that wants to cloak itself in normally, in routine, in the familiar. But I see it clearly. I see the smoke forming before the fire. You've been asking God, "Why do I feel uneasy lately?" This is why. Because you're being stirred not by fear, but by foresight. The gift you carry makes you sensitive. The mantle on your life causes you to hear whispers others cannot. And right now, that gift is being activated because the next few days hold a potential shift that must be intercepted. You are the interception point. That's why this message came to you. You may have noticed people around you acting differently. Someone distant, someone strangely silent, or perhaps too kind, too suddenly. That is not your imagination. That is the disguise of disruption trying to get past your divine intuition. But heaven does not allow its chosen to be blind. No, not when Archangel Michael is sent on assignment. I was given one mission: reach your soul before the darkness touches your light. If I do that, you will be protected. But if this message is skipped, if you let doubt or delay steal your attention, the protection may come too late, and my heart would break. My child, let me be clear. This is not a normal message. This is not routine spiritual talk. This is a lifeline. Because a chain of events has already started, And while most are still asleep in the spirit, you are being awakened. God Himself whispered your name early this morning. And in that whisper, He asked for your name to be sealed in protection. But heaven could not release that seal without your agreement. That agreement begins by receiving this word in full. Even now, someone is trying to call you away. A distraction is forming. But beloved, I ask you, what could be more urgent than your divine survival? I've walked with warriors. I've stood at heaven's gates in battles that raged across realms. But never have I seen a file so carefully hidden as yours. Until today, your spiritual record had been kept locked until your latest cry reached God's throne. You thought you were alone. You thought your tears were invisible. But the moment you wept, something unlocked. The divine file with your name was opened. And what was inside? A warning and a reward. Both are before you now. What happens next depends on what you choose. My beloved, you may feel something trembling within your soul right now. That's not fear. That's recognition. It's your spirit remembering something it always knew deep down. This was always meant to be your moment. And yes, this tragedy can still be canceled. That loss is creeping in the shadows. It can still be reversed. But you must act in faith. Stay with me. Don't close this. Don't silence what heaven is screaming to deliver. There's a reason this message appeared at this exact hour. It's tied to a divine countdown, and you are in the final moments of decision. If you've ever felt overlooked, discarded, forgotten, hear me now. That season ends today. The enemy has tried to break you through delay, through disappointment, through people who swore they loved you but walked away when you needed them most. That pain was real. Heaven wept with you. But what's coming next, if you stay in divine alignment, will be so holy, so healing, that even your past will begin to rewrite itself through the lens of redemption. You are being positioned for restoration, not destruction. But again, I say it depends on this very moment. Even now, the angelic host is waiting on your response. I'm not speaking in metaphors. There are angels surrounding you this very minute. Some carry healing, some carry warning, and I carry the sword of truth, of protection, of divine reversal. But my sword cannot activate without your yes. That yes begins by staying open, staying aware, staying here. Because once this message ends, the instructions will begin. And if you miss those instructions, you may walk right into the very thing God is trying to keep you from. I must tell you something else. Heaven is not only warning you, it is trusting you. There's something you're being asked to carry, not just for yourself, but for someone else. Yes, someone close to you is blind to what's coming. But you are awake now. You are the intercessor, the chosen, the one heaven is counting on to break the chain. And this is why you've been under attack. This is why everything felt heavier lately. Because the enemy knew your moment of awakening was coming. But what he didn't expect was this message. Your next act of faith will seal what I've started. So take a breath. Speak out loud. God, I receive this message. I receive the warning, and I accept the miracle you've hidden inside it. Those words are powerful, my beloved. Don't just think them, speak them. Because what's coming requires both revelation and activation. This is not about surviving the storm. This is about stopping the storm before it even starts. You have been given that authority. You have been trusted with that spiritual command. And now, something holy is happening. As you read these words, Heaven is reviewing the file with your name. And a new page is being written. A page titled "The Day They Chose to Believe." And when that page is complete, the timeline that was heading toward tragedy will turn. It will shift directions. The conversation being planned against you will fall silent. The opportunity that was about to slip away will come back around, and the person who almost misjudged you will have a change of heart they cannot explain. That is the miracle. That is the mercy. My child, my beloved, the Spirit of God is not just watching over you. He is speaking to you now. And every word you are reading is part of a divine rescue that was written long before this day ever came. You may not know it yet, but this moment, this exact breath you are taking right now, is tied to something sacred, something ancient, something eternal. There is a promise hovering over your life, and the enemy has been trying to shake you loose from it. That's why the warfare has increased. That's why you've been feeling a weight you couldn't explain. It wasn't your imagination. It was interference. A demonic frequency trying to cloud your discernment, blur your vision, and stop you from realizing how close you are to a miracle that could rewrite your entire life. But heaven had other plans, and heaven always gets the final say. I need you to hear this in your spirit. You are not losing. You're transitioning. That shaking you feel is not the sound of your life falling apart. It is the sound of every lie breaking under the weight of divine truth. And the truth is this: you were chosen for this moment, this tragedy that was set to unfold around you, this subtle scheme that nearly went undetected. It was seen by God long before it reached your doorstep. And now it's been interrupted. Heaven is issuing a cease and desist against every demonic operation that was mapped out against your name. But your response matters. You must not take this moment lightly. You must remain spiritually awake because the enemy does not fear your past. He fears your future. I see it now. Yes, I see the image clearly. There's a divine door, golden in color, sealed with symbols that only heaven understands. Behind that door is everything the enemy wanted to delay: a financial shift, a healing in the family, a divine connection, and an opportunity that had been gathering dust because someone with influence forgot your name. But just now, that door shook. Do you feel it? That strange awareness in your chest. That is the Holy Spirit confirming this message is real. The shaking of that door was not natural. It was supernatural. Because your obedience is breaking things open in the unseen realm. But the enemy doesn't go down without a final attempt. And his final attempt is always the most deceptive. He will send a voice that sounds like love but carries poison. He will send an offer that looks perfect but steals peace. He will send a delay disguised as a blessing. And if you are not spiritually awake, you may step into the very thing that was designed to harm you. This is why I have not stopped speaking. This is why you are still reading. Because heaven would not allow you to enter this next phase blind. You are being prepared, and preparation is protection. My beloved, do not be shocked if something strange happens in the next few hours. A message from an unexpected person. A sudden emotion that doesn't match the moment. A dream that feels more real than usual. These are not coincidences. They are clues. The Holy Spirit is now aligning signs in your favor, but you must stay sensitive. Don't ignore the unusual. Don't brush away the whisper, because your next instruction is coming not through thunder, but through a whisper. and those who ignore the whisper will miss the miracle. And now I must reveal one more thing. There is a name that is being spiritually highlighted. Someone connected to your past. Someone who once carried your trust, but dropped it when you needed them most. They are being used again, not to destroy you completely, but to delay you long enough that you miss what's coming. But I declare now in the name of the Most High, their influence over your life ends today. You may feel a chill or tears may rise without warning. That's not fear. That's freedom, because your spirit is being released. You are no longer under their shadow. You are no longer tied to their decision. You are free. And with that freedom comes favor. With that clarity comes calling. With that awareness comes acceleration. You were never meant to stay stuck. You were always meant to soar. And now the sky is clearing. Now the clouds are parting. Now the tragedy has been seen for what it is, a setup for a supernatural turnaround. But do not relax yet. There is still more to be said. The next portion of this message will show you how to walk into the miracle. You've been warned. You've been awakened. And now you must be aligned. My child, my beloved, your life is about to pass through a divine checkpoint. And once you cross this line, nothing will ever be the same again. What the enemy meant for tragedy, heaven is rewriting as testimony. But this sacred reversal only happens for those who do not look away from the warning. That's why this moment, this exact heartbeat, is not just a message, it's a portal. You've stepped into it by staying with these words. And now I must take you deeper. What I reveal next is not for the faint of heart. It's not for the doubters or the half-awake. It is for you, the chosen one, the one who still believes even when everything around you tries to crush that belief. And I see it now. God is rising in your story, and the enemy is trembling. My child, I must tell you another truth. Your story has been under watch, not just by heaven, but by those who envy your light. Some smiled in your face, but resented your resilience. They watched you go through battles they thought would destroy you. But when you didn't fall apart, they grew bitter. Some even said, "How are they still standing?" They don't understand that you were being held up by angels, that even when you felt weak, your spirit was surrounded. But now, they want to shake what they couldn't break, and they are planning to speak again, this time louder. This is the moment that determines whether their words take root or get uprooted before they land. There is a divine firewall heaven is trying to place around you, but it must be installed before sunset. I know that may sound strange, but it's true. In the next few hours, something will be said. Something will be sent. It may look like a message, a phone call, or even a silence that feels heavier than normal. That moment is the final piece of the trap. But you are now aware. You now hold the power to walk around what was set to make you fall. Your obedience in this moment activates protection that stretches far beyond this hour. It covers your name, your family, your finances, your future, all of it. My child, my beloved, it grieves me to say this, but someone is walking toward you with a message that is not from God. They may look familiar, they may sound loving, but there is something hidden behind their eyes that they won't say out loud. Their words may carry smiles, but their heart is carrying something else entirely. And here is what you must understand. They are not the enemy, but they are being used by one. That is why your soul has been feeling unsafe lately. That's why you've been second-guessing people who never gave you reason to before. because your spirit sees what your eyes do not. And heaven is confirming it now through me. You are being warned not to entertain every voice that enters your life this week, because one of those voices will try to twist your path away from where God was about to take you. This is why the enemy is in a hurry, because something good, something life-changing is about to arrive for you. There is a divine window opening, and your name is on the list of those being called into it. And the moment the enemy saw that blessing was approved, he sent a disruption. Not a storm you could see coming, but a slow-moving tragedy disguised as good advice, false love, or helpful concern. But I, Archangel Michael, see straight through the deception. And I am standing between you and the destruction if you let me. But I need you to stay open. Stay here. Receive the next few words I'm about to share, because they are not coming from me. They are coming from the highest place in heaven. God is speaking, and what he says now is sacred. The tragedy that is trying to approach you is not just about you. It's about your bloodline. Your decisions today are echoing through generations. And the enemy knows if he can shake you, he can delay them. This is why he's fighting so hard right now. But the fact that you're still reading, still standing, still holding on means he has not won. And he never will unless you give him permission by walking away from the truth being revealed to you now. I say this with the deepest love. Do not be casual with this moment. I know life is full of distractions. I know your heart has been tired, but this is not the time to sleep. This is not the time to brush off your instincts. This is the time to listen, because what you hear now could break the curse, close the trap, and unlock the miracle in one holy motion. Let me be clear, beloved. The person who is being used against you is unaware. They are not wicked, but they are wounded. And it is their wounds that open the door for the enemy to whisper. They've begun to envy you quietly. They admire your light, but resent your growth. They miss who you used to be, because the new version of you makes them feel small. This is why their heart shifted, and heaven showed me the very moment it happened. It was recent, very recent, and they still smile around you. But their energy has changed. You felt it. That sudden awkwardness, that feeling that they're hiding something. You weren't wrong. Your spirit caught it. And now I'm confirming it. But do not fear. Do not panic. Do not hate them. Instead, rise. Rise into awareness. Rise into authority. Declare over your name that no weapon formed, no matter how secret, shall prosper. Because when you speak, the heavens listen. You are not alone, my child. You were never alone. And right now, angels are gathering in your favor. Even as this message flows, angelic forces are surrounding your name. They are standing in places you cannot see. Boardrooms, group chats, family homes, even near doors that were about to open to the wrong people. The angels are guarding your future, but they are waiting for one final signal from you: faith. Your next act of faith will seal what I've started. So take a breath. Speak out loud. God, I receive this message. I receive the warning, and I accept the miracle you've hidden inside it. Those words are powerful, my beloved. Don't just think them, speak them, because what's coming requires both revelation and activation. This is not about surviving the storm. This is about stopping the storm before it even starts. You have been given that authority. You have been trusted with that spiritual command. And now something holy is happening. As you read these words, heaven is reviewing the file with your name, and a new page is being written, a page titled, "The Day They Chose to Believe." And when that page is complete, the timeline that was heading toward tragedy will turn. It will shift directions. The conversation being planned against you will fall silent. The opportunity that was about to slip away will come back around, and the person who almost misjudged you will have a change of heart they cannot explain. That is the miracle. That is the mercy.